All right. All right. Class is in session. YouTube can see me up here. Absolutely nothing ridiculous. I'm sure you guys all watched my video on Friday on why I was able to catch the downside. Obviously, I didn't catch the entire move. But today I'm here to tell you or give you a game plan on what should be expected for this week, right? Obviously, we had a huge fucking sell off. You know, Friday we sold off. This is the most volume we've seen pretty much all year. Like this is the biggest sell off we had since 2020, right? So COVID was absolutely ridiculous. And this is just insane. Trump saying 100% tariffs on freaking China. Obviously investors are going to be scared, right? Do we know if this was a manipulative move? We don't know. Did I know that news was going to happen like this? I don't know, right? So just to give you guys a quick rundown on how I was able to catch the downside move and how I was able to catch momentum afterwards, because like I said, I did not know that news was going to be that ridiculous. Like I said, I didn't even catch the entire move. I did catch a few scalps, but I did not, catch the entire move, right? So super easy. Boom. We have all-time highs. We have a lot of sellers here. And like I've been saying, I didn't know we are going to go as far down as we did. But how did I know we are going to trade the downside? Guys, can you please answer this question? How did I know not to trade the upside? If you guys watched my video on Friday, you should know. What the fuck is that? Yo. What's up, Brandy? How we doing? What's up, Alex? Share screen. Oh shit. I am sharing my screen. What are you guys talking about? Damn. Wait, I can't. Wait, I'm not sharing my screen. Wait, hold on. Okay, there we go. Sorry guys. Sorry guys. I'm in the wrong. But can we look at the chat or what the fuck am I looking at? Holy shit. Oh my gosh, bro. All right. Actually though. Why did I not take the upside trade? Why did I not take this trade right here to the upside in the morning, right? We play for value gaps, right? Why did I not take this trade? We should all know this. Inverse fair value gap, yeah, but that didn't happen until after. There we go. See, super simple. We didn't break any levels, right? We didn't break all-time highs. We're still below all-time highs. What happened at all-time highs? Obviously, sellers stepped in. Sellers have been stepping in, and there's a lot of sellers here. We don't know when all-time highs is gonna be, so we don't know when we're gonna start breaking levels to the downside and start getting those retracements, etc. Right? Which I'll get into. I'm kind of just giving you guys a recap on Friday so that way you can get caught up and understand what I'm talking about. Because this is actually very important. I know you guys are fucking around in the chat. Feel free to say whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not your daddy. Uh, Actually, I am. But, we're here to make money and I need you guys to be prepared so that way you guys can actually bank with me. I'm going to be able to see who is paying attention and who's not paying attention. All right. So we didn't break all time highs. The only way that I would play the downside is if we got an inverse, because the same way you break levels to the upside and have a fair value gap that shows you there is volume, I need to see rejecting all time highs with an inverse, right? So if we don't inverse, then I don't take the trade to the downside and then we just consolidate sideways, right? In this case, we did inverse. The inverse was here. It doesn't have to, support and resistance this fair value gap like so, right? It doesn't have to do this. All it has to do is create a fair value gap back to the downside that invalidates the fair value gap to the upside. It was already pretty much invalidated because we never broke levels to the upside and we actually created a fair value gap to the downside, rejecting highs where sellers are at, right? It's really that simple. From here, I was in the trade. I was not in the trade. I want to clarify this. I was not in the trade whenever that news went absolutely crazy because I had no idea I didn't know Donald Trump was going to say, yo, 100% tariffs on China. Fuck them. You know, I did not know that. So, I simply took the trade here knowing that sellers are in control. I can target this little gap down here, maybe even these lows, and I can take this trade, right, for a quick scalp. I wasn't looking for a home run. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how I caught the trade to the downside as well. So this would be my trade. TP would be, at the gap. And that's exactly where I ended up getting out of the trade. Took a little bit longer to play out, but boom, TP hit. I was already out of the full trade. I think I made like 25, 30%. Maybe I was probably even out before then, right? Because zero DTEs play real fast, and I'm not really trying to stay in the trade, especially knowing I'm playing high leverage or higher risk and just looking for lower leverage and fucking getting my 10, 15%. I don't care if it goes a million percent, right? Well, now when we're looking at the downside trade, when news actually did kick in, we all saw this happen. Everyone saw this happen. We all saw this shit just absolutely fucking dump. We're like, what the heck? What the fuck? Yo, what am I looking at, bro? All right, let me lock in, right? We broke levels to the downside. Same way we would be trading the downside or the uptrend, I'm sorry, breaking highs with fair value gaps. You do the same thing on trend reversals, right? You don't need an inverse fair value gap. A lot of people look for a fucking liquidity sweep like this. Oh, liquidity sweep and get fucking stopped the fuck out, right? Because it doesn't work that way. It's all buyers and sellers. You guys see how we sold off from all-time highs? Why did we sell off from all-time highs? Because sellers are still in control. Buyers couldn't outweigh buyers or sellers, right? So it's really that simple. We ended up breaking lows with a fair value gap, right? So this is how I was scalping the downside move. We know there's a huge fucking fair value gap there, a lot of volume. I would not ignore this, and I would not go without trading this because I know exactly what the market's doing. We're breaking lows, these lows as well, with a fair value gap, and I'm slowly adding to my position here. So I was only able to enter with around $3,000. I entered with 1,500, pushed it up a little higher, added another $1,500 worth of contracts, and it just ended up going lower. I made around 25, 30%, made around close to $1,000. I think $1,500, and I made money, right? You always want to be in a position to where you wish you added more. If not, I would have been in with $10,000 at this fair value gap, but we never got to touch it. And a lot of people always ask me, do you have to wait for the fair value gap to fill? No, you don't. Because the stronger the fair value gap is, you have to imagine the fair value gaps as orders, right? There's a lot of orders right here, buyers and sellers, right? Fair value gap is this simple, representation of sellers outweighing buyers in this case. So there's a fuck ton of sell orders. The stronger the orders are, you know, the less likely it is for it to even touch the fair value gap because there's so many sell orders, right? Does that make sense? Same thing to the upside. This is why you want to slowly add to your position and be in a position to where you wish you added more. Super simple target low of day. With this volume, you probably could have targeted even lower other previous lows, but you wouldn't have known it would have hit that low. This is just a ridiculous day. Like this shit dropped almost 3% the entire day. It was absolutely insane, right? But that's what we caught. Now, let's move into the game plan going into tomorrow. I want you guys to start using your brains, okay? Let's turn off retail trading for a second. We have to look at how retail traders are going to think tomorrow and how we're going to approach the week. We know there are a ton of sellers. They're not just going to continuously drop the market, right? We all know this. Okay? We're not just going to have a fat ass red candle that dumps. We might have a few hour candles that retrace, but in order for us to go back higher, we need to do something like this. We already broke these lows here, right? We need to have a breaker structure back to the upside. We need to have a lot of volume. In this case, if we look at the 4-hour time frame, we would quite literally have to inverse this fair value gap here, like so, for us to go back to the upside. Stay with me now, okay? This is the only way I'm going to be playing any upside trades this week, including tomorrow and Tuesday, is if we see volume go back up and I safely know that we can trade the uptrend. Because what do we know as of now? Price broke levels to the downside. This is where buyers stepped in at. This was our previous lows. This is where buyers stepped in at. We broke those levels, right? We closed below those levels. Market's already coming back up a little bit. It's cooling down. But you have to remember, What is tomorrow? Columbus Day. Not only is it Columbus Day, it's a bank holiday. Banks are going to be closed. So that means tomorrow, if you full ported your entire account Friday, you're not going to have any funds to trade with tomorrow. So logically, what do you think the big guys are going to be doing? What do you think the banks are going to be doing? They're going to be buying. Nobody else can fucking buy. They're the only ones that can load up. Now, we have to listen to what we just looked at, okay? We have to pay attention to the options. We're going to react to the market. I'm not trying to sit here and predict it. The only way we can read price action, right? The only way we trade the upside is if they buy it enough to where they're like, haha, fuck you guys. You guys thought it was going to go lower. We inverse, we go higher. Cool, whatever. We just keep playing the uptrend. By tomorrow's close, if we do not inverse the fair value gap to the downside after breaking lows, we're going to go lower. Okay? We're going to start looking for launch pads. Intraday, we're going to be trading the downtrend. Okay? So that's the game plan here going out, right? We're going to be trading the downtrend and playing puts. That's only if we don't inverse. But if we inverse, then we'll play the high side. Brandy, kick out whoever is annoying you, bro. You do it. Oh, wait, you're talking to exclusive. What the fuck? I'm gonna stop fucking looking at the chat, bro. Anyways, we're gonna be trading the downside if we don't inverse. If we do inverse, then we'll play the upside, okay? I will likely be taking swings to the downside. Do we have any pre-market news on Tuesday? Oh no, Powell's bitch ass starts fucking speaking. Yeah, if we don't inverse, then we can trade downside volume very confidently, right? So it's like if we don't inverse, don't trade any upside. If we inverse, do trade the upside. We're going to have a lot more volume to the downside because we know that sellers are in control, okay? Right now we are gapping up, so people might be, a little faked out, whatever. But we have to be able to react to the market and understand what it's doing, okay? Because just because we sold off doesn't mean that, oh, we're going to see another fucking Diddy candle straight down to hell, bro. We have to see what the market has to do. But that's the game plan. Is everybody up to par right now? My thought process on Apple calls. If everybody understands that, you can. I'm gonna post this on YouTube, so everybody's gonna be able to go watch this. And whenever this shit starts playing out exactly how I'm telling you guys are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, how does you know?" This is simply just price action. It's not like I'm sitting here like, "Oh shit, fucking." It's just price action. Okay. Apple calls. The reason I got into Apple calls is because I've been waiting on a retracement down to this daily fair value gap. Boom, right here. We had a daily fair value gap breaking previous highs. Same way we broke previous highs down here, and then we started rallying. And you see this fair value gap here. Boom. And then you go to this fib retracement here. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. Boom. Right, look where the fair value gap lines up. It's the same concept, price action, displacements everywhere. It's just buyers and sellers. It's really all it is. And once we hit this fair value gap here, I probably got in. I didn't know it was gonna dump as low as it did, obviously, but it's already gapping up. I think it's at like 246, some shit. I don't know. But Monday with low volume, they're probably gonna bump it. What am I looking at, bro? Yo, what the fuck? Bro. Yo, that shit's fucking crazy, bro. Y'all are wildin', bro. All right. Anyways, that is pretty much the game plan. All right. We know exactly. I hope you guys paid attention. I hope you guys paid attention. This is this is going to be key. Just moving forward from now on, this week alone, we're going to know exactly what to do. You know, Daddy Decrypt's always going to be here to help. They don't call me Big D for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So let's make sure we know exactly what we're doing. And if you missed anything, just fucking just watch the YouTube video. I'm gonna have it up right after this. But anyways, you guys take care. RP my boy in the Decrypt After Hours all alone. Um, that's pretty much it. That's the game plan. There's nothing more to it. Everything else, we're gonna have to play by the ear because fucking the market absolutely fucking dumped, and we don't know where buyers are gonna step in at. Well, we do, right? But just knowing that the market fucking dumped like crazy, we're gonna have to pay attention to it. Like, look at Tesla. We have a, I'd say like even this 4 hour fair value gap would be the most valid right there. So we do have like levels where we could start adding to our positions for the upside. All right. But we do have heavy downside. And I don't want to sit here and say that we're gonna go any lower because it could be fucking inversed and go higher. You know, it's like we'll see. This could have been a liquidity grab, or this could be an actual turmoil because I guess they're talking about November 1st. They're actually going to implement these tariffs on China 100%, which would be fucking insane. Like it would actually dump the market. But FOMC, as they're like dropping interest rates, it's going to start flooding more money into the market. So it's actually going to level out, and it makes a whole lot more sense. Okay, so it's pretty much it. What do you guys have to say in the chat? I'm gonna put you guys on Instagram as well. Over 100 people. Wait, hold on. Over 150 people in the chat. Let's see what they're saying. Did we learn anything? All right. Yo. All right, that's it, bro. What the fuck, man? We're locked the fuck in, guys. We're ready to make money. We're all locked in. Let's fucking get it, dude. I'm sorry that I took so long to host this class. It was my sister's birthday, so I was with her all day and my family. I was supposed to host it at noon, but we still got this shit done. I have to lock in for you guys. Monday, I will not be trading tomorrow. Like, absolutely not. Tomorrow is an observation day. Tomorrow, we have to see what the market's going to do. Like I said, none of us have buying power. I probably have like 10, 15,000 in buying power. I don't have all my buying power, though. So it's like, I'm not just going to take one trade in hopes that I make some money. Okay. Tomorrow is an observation day. Pay attention to is if we go lower or if we just like, consolidate upwards, right? If we consolidate upwards and move up a little bit, cool. But if not, if we inverse, then Tuesday we know which side we're playing. By Tuesday, we're gonna know exactly what to do. And whenever news kicks in, what do you do when news aligns with your fucking setup? We all know this shit. You fucking take the trade. See all this? Let's fucking go. Exactly. Boom. That's it. Alrighty, guys. You guys have a great fucking night. I appreciate you guys hopping in here. Hope you guys learned. Um, we're ready for fucking. We're ready to fucking dick this week down. Let's go. I'll see you guys later.